Hello, students. Today's session will continue with page number 36. Last third paragraph. The man with the rat traps had never before seen the iron master at Ramjo and did not even know what his name was. But it occurred to him that if the fine gentleman thought he was an old acquaintance. Now, certainly, what happened at the time? The iron master he entered there, and obviously this person, this rat trap seller, he was not at all acquainted of him. So as if like he started seeing, just viewing his face, but it occurred to him that if it was fine for him if gentleman knows him, like he started saying no Niels Olof. So he started thinking it's okay if he is thinking me as an acquaintance, that's okay. He might perhaps throw him a couple of kroner. Now he started thinking might be I'll get some money from him. Therefore he did not want to undeceive him all at once. So he did not want to just undeceive him. Yes, God knows things have gone downhill with me, he said. Now he's thinking that everything will be now all right, as if he knew me. He's saying, so might be possible I'll get some money from him and everything will be now all right. You should not have resigned from the regiment, said the iron master. That was the mistake. If only I had still been in the service at that time. Now he's saying, I think you might have not resigned. Like you might have resigned from the regiment. That is the reason. Like now you are wandering like this, and God, for God sake, like I did not do so. So that's why my like situation is different from you. If I had still been in the service at that time, it never would have happened. Well, now of course you will come home with me. Now he started saying, "Oh, whatever it is now, but now you have to come, you have to accompany me to my home, you have to come with me to go along up to the manor house and be received by the owner like an old regimental comrade, and please give me an opportunity to serve you better like an old regimental comrade. You have to come to my manor house. Big house means he owned a big house there, so he wanted him to take there. That however did not please the tramp, but tramp was very much fearful. He was not happy. No, I couldn't think of it, he said, looking quite alarmed. He was very much fearful. He was alarmed and he said, no, I couldn't. I cannot think of it coming with you. He thought of the 30 kroner. To go up to the manor house would be like throwing himself voluntarily into the lion's den. Now he started thinking just of that 30 kroner which he has stolen from that crofter's house. He thought if he'll be going and joining in manor house, very soon they'll come to know. Like it is as if like being a prey of lion. So how I can do that? He only wanted a chance to sleep here in the forge and then sneak away as inconspicuously as possible. Now he just wanted a chance to sleep there, an opportunity to sleep there, to take a shelter for a night, and next day, very next day, he'll be escaping from there. So the ironmaster assumed that he felt embarrassed because of his miserable clothing. Now ironmaster, he thought that like he is just having a misconception, might be due to his dressing sense. He don't want to come. He is feeling embarrassed. Please don't think that I have such a fine home that you cannot show yourself there. He said, Elizabeth is dead. As you may already have heard, my boys are abroad and there is no one at home except my oldest daughter and myself. Now he started giving view of his family, that nobody is there. You might have heard that my wife Elizabeth, she is dead, and like my boys, my sons are abroad, and I am living with my oldest daughter. Only she is there. We were just saying that it was too bad we didn't have any company for Christmas. Now come along with me and help us make the Christmas food disappear a little faster. Now he started inviting him that this Christmas at least we'll have one company, we'll have a friend, and in this manner at least we'll, like, our Christmas food will disappear very quickly. So but the stranger said no, and he started saying no, that he couldn't join them, and he is just making some kind of excuses there, then and there itself. And the ironmaster saw that he must give in. Now ironmaster started thinking, why I am like trying to persuade him. Let's see some other option. It looks as though Captain Von still preferred to stay with you tonight, Jenstrom, he said to the master blacksmith. Now, he just exclaimed to like master blacksmith, I think like simply I am persuading him. He just want to stay with you all, and turned on his heel and he started going back to his home. But he laughed to himself as he went away, and the blacksmith, who knew him, understood very well that he had not said his last word. And now, as if he was going back, so blacksmith understood, like as if this Niels Olof, he did not give him any last word, so that's why he's turning back. Ironmaster is turning back. It was not more than half an hour before they heard the sound of carriage wheels outside the forge, and a new guest came in. But this time it was not the Ironmaster. He had sent his daughter. Now, very soon after, just half an hour, they heard a new sound, that is of a carriage, and carriage is coming outside. So they saw, and nobody else but it was Ironmaster's daughter. He had sent his daughter, apparently hoping that she would have better powers of persuasion than he himself, because he thought that she might be persuading or convincing him better than him. So he had sent her. She entered, followed by a valet carrying on his arm a big fur coat. Now she came with a manservant, and he was holding a big fur coat in his hand. She was not at all pretty, but seemed modest and quite shy. She was not that much pretty or beautiful, but she was modest and quite shy. So in the forge, everything was just as it had been earlier in the evening, and in forge everything was all right as usual. The master blacksmith and his apprentice still sat on their bench, and iron and charcoal still glowed in the furnace. Means the master blacksmith and other apprentice, they were sitting on bench, and iron and charcoal was glowing in the furnace. The stranger had stretched himself out on the floor and lay with a piece of pig iron under his head, and his hat pulled down over his eyes. Now he stretched himself, he was lying on the floor, and he lay a big piece of iron under his head, and he was lying down on floor. So he was also like stretching his hat towards his eyes, just covering his eyes. As soon as the young girl caught sight of him, she went up and lifted his hat. The man was evidently used to sleeping with one eye open. Now this girl, she suddenly entered there, and she lifted up his hat to just see his face, and he was just sleeping with one eye open. He was sleeping there. He jumped up abruptly and seemed to be quite frightened. Now he was very much frightened, he was very much fearful, because somebody came, and he jumped up from his place and started seeing fearfully that what is happening. So till here today, and rest of will be continuing in our next session. Hope you understood. Till then, signing out. Thank you.